Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? This is Tuesday Talks at 10:30, Connecting the Spirit with Stacy, where I come to you every Tuesday at 10:30 and talk to you about different things within yourself, about coming back home, dealing with grief and death and dying, talking about mediumship readings. We sit for, 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more, and just come together and talk about things that maybe you're not always comfortable talking to other people about. I am no counselor. I am, my desk is a little messy there. Let's switch it up. I'll give you this view instead. I'm no counselor. It's just through working with spirit and being guided with spirit and having different conversations with my clients, different things come up. And each Monday night before I go live, I ask my guides for a message, for something that I can talk to you about, for something that someone needs to hear, or a validation of sort. So that's what Tuesday Talks at 10:30 is about. And I always like to set my intentions before I start, so you know who I am and what I'm about. Say hi, let me know that you're on. Let me see if I can see any comments yet. Nope. Okay. But hey Dana, how are you doing? Merry Christmas. So my name is Stacy. I am a child of God. I'm a spiritual healer. I'm a psychic medium, and I'm a shaman. And I've been given a gift from God to channel spirit using love and light for my higher good and the higher good of those that God puts in my path. I'm not the medium that says I see death all around you and you're going to be dead in 10 days. My gift, my prayer is that God, that spirit, that angels bring in the most healing message. Most people who come to me are looking for some sort of healing, some type of validation, some type of evidence that their loved one on the other side is okay and is with them. If you were to sit across from me, this is part of the intention that you would hear. There's a little bit more that goes into detail about how I work even more, so that there's an understanding. All mediums do work differently. Doesn't mean one is right and the other one is wrong. We just have our own modalities. So, good morning. Good morning. So, Christmas is over. Crazy, isn't it? The holidays came and went very quickly. I mean, I know we still have New Year's Eve coming up, so we still have one more, and then 2022 will be over. And at the end of the year, I always like to, kind of reflect on the different things that I've done, and I try and find the positive things. I mean, I took several trips. I was in Atlanta. We drove out to Arizona. I was in upstate New York. We took the kids and grandkids to Florida. I was in Massachusetts. It was a good year for traveling. And some of those were for work, for Hip Gypsy Emporium. And then others were for my mediumship work. The trip to upstate New York was a class that I have been taking through Joe Shield. The vacation in Florida with most of the kids and the grandkids, and Massachusetts, that was another training session. But I try and look at the different things that happened throughout the year. I mean, y'all saw a couple weeks ago, I got a puppy, Rebel. He's not in here with me today because he was just acting crazy. Who would have thought, oh my gosh, what was I thinking of getting a puppy? But he's just so adorable that I couldn't put him down. Everybody's a year older, a year wiser for the most part. And we got through the holidays. And I always think, I get so excited, for Christmas. It's always been like one of my favorite times to decorate, and family and friends gather together, and all these things that come together. And man, this year it was just really, for some reason, I had a tough year with decorating. Maybe it's because of the shop and all the decorating there. But even, the get-togethers, Christmas Eve was awesome. Christmas Day was a little difficult, But it's looking through the months and the things that we've gone through. I mean, basically, I've come to you into your homes or into your office, wherever you watch. 52 times this year you've seen my face talking to you about something. I've done, I don't know, thousands of readings, group readings, privates. I've done energy healings. People have been there for me. I've been there for them. I've gained new friends. I've lost friends and family members this year. And 2022, it wasn't a super difficult year, but it wasn't a super easy year either. So as it closes out, or it starts to close out, I'd just like to reflect the new friends that I've met along the way while traveling. Some friendships have been rekindled. Some have had to, break away. But it's been a learning experience this whole time. Good morning, T. Marie. Hello. So these are the different things that help us to grow and help us to learn. Different, different experiences that we have every single day. And when we get to the end of the year, I just like to look back at those. We've had 3, 4, 5 festivals here at Hip Gypsy Emporium where I've met new people and had different experiences that make our life grow. When we get to the end of the year, if all we can think about are the bad things, then we have to change our perspective, change the way we think. I want to go into 2023 with a good intention. I want to think about positive things that I want to come about in 2023. My goal is to get another book completed. I've been putting it on the back burner for quite a while, so I need to get that, completed. Jeff and I are going to be going out west again, but I think we're doing it in August so that we can hit some states that we haven't hit. One of my lifetime goals is to hit all the states in the United States, and I don't have that many that I haven't been through. So it's working on that. It's helping my kids and my grandkids grow and know that, no matter what, I'm there for them. So it's having that reflection. And even when we sit back and think about the things that we've talked about on Tuesday Talks at 10:30, some of the things that we've talked about is, your to-do list and to-don't list. We talked about that several weeks ago. What are the things that are on your to-do list that you need to do in 2022? And then what are some of those things that you need to take off for a to-don't list? That's a great way to start 2023, is think about what are some things that are on my list that I can get rid of, that I no longer need to burden myself with. Worry is a big thing that needs to be crossed off the to-don't list. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's constantly working on having faith and knowing that what you need will be given to you when you need it. You hear me say that all the time. We talked about, even if you think that you're walking in the darkness, that you're actually shedding a light for someone who is following behind you. These are things that we've talked about on Tuesday Talks at 10:30. We've talked about, when we talked about that, we talked about, like the different wattages in light bulbs. There's 15-watt light bulbs and there's 100-watt light bulbs. And sometimes your light might not be as bright today as it was yesterday, or that it's going to be tomorrow. But there's still that light. There's still that light, keeping that light shining. Trusting the process. Trusting that God knows exactly where you need to be, when you need to be there, and trusting that. I wouldn't say I got depressed. I got bummed out. There's a good word. I got bummed out Christmas Day because it seems like in all of the hubbub, I lost sight of what Christmas was really about. Yes, it's about family and friends. And yes, it's about, the gift giving and things like that. And the spirit in my kids and my grandkids' eyes, and just, being together and all these things. But it's celebrating our Lord and Savior. And I was bummed Christmas Day just because of some of the things that went on. And when I went to bed and I was meditating and praying, I was just like, oh my goodness. I totally lost sight that today was not about me. Today was not about that. Today was in celebration of our Lord and Savior. So I had to kind of apologize about that and reel everything back in and know that, good morning, Kelly, I haven't seen you in a while. And know that, I don't know, God has a plan for exactly where I need to be and where I need to be there. I just need to pull myself out of it and get my ego out of it and listen and do. Being grateful. You know, the whole month of November, we did a 30-day challenge of gratitude. And a lot of you posted the things that you were grateful for. Every day there's something to be grateful for. So it is looking at that. We talked about random acts of kindness in December. I didn't want to know about what your random acts of kindness were. I just wanted you to place a red heart to let me know that you did something that was a random act of kindness. I truly believe if you do a random act of kindness, you don't go and shout it from the rooftops and say, here's what I did. You just do it just because it feels like that's what you need to do. Mother Teresa had made a comment, and I can't remember what the exact quote was, but she said, alone, I cannot change the world. But one pebble thrown into a stream can make the ripple effect. And she was that pebble. She was that change. That's what she was saying. She couldn't do it alone, but she could start it in motion. So alone, we can't change the world, but we can get things in motion. And together, we can all make different changes. We talked about, we've talked about, just trying to think of the different things we talked about. I made a note of a couple things. We talked about grief, of course. We talked about suicide last week or the week before with all the publicity or all the media exposure with Twitch. We've talked about, you know, sharing and caring and doing things for other people. We've talked about, you know, and I keep saying about coming back home. Do you ever feel as if, I just want to see if I'm not missing any comments. Do you ever feel as if you're lost or you're homesick or, I mean, that's how when I lost my mom, that's how it felt. I felt homesick for her. And I needed to come back home. I needed to remember the things about her that she taught me and try to continue her traditions in the way that she does things. And that's one of the reasons why, too, I get so hard on myself is because my mother always made it look so easy, and it's always such a freaking challenge for me to, like, do something that came naturally to her. So it's taking that year in review. What have you done this year that you're proud of? There's got to be something, you know. It's even if you can only think of one thing, but start. I mean, I've got my calendar. I still do the old school calendars, and y'all are going to be proud of me. Hopefully, beginning of January, you'll be able to do online appointments. I'll still have my old school calendar though, because I have to see that. But I mean, I went to Bel Air, Maryland, I think 10 times this year. I usually go once a month, and there's usually 2 months, December being one and July being another, that I don't go. But I think it was August. Yeah, it was August and December that I didn't go. You know, special events that I did, you know, in people's homes, that you invited me into your home and you trusted me with your family and friends to bring your loved ones in. That just blesses me. That just makes me feel so warm within, and it humbles me that you allow me to be that connection with your loved one. I don't even know how many private readings I did this year, and I was able to help connect a couple clients with their loved ones who were either unconscious or in a coma to connect with their spirit and their energy to find out where they needed to be or where they needed to go, and helping those transition into the next life, and then helping the family deal with the loss of that person. I'm blessed every single day to be able to do these things. I'm not saying this, I'm not telling you all these things to brag about what I've done. But these are the things that I go through in my head that I'm suggesting that you go through too. Think about, what did I do in January? Well, in January, we were in Atlanta for a buyer show, and then Jeff and I went out west. And then when I think about February, what did I do in February? Well, we were coming back from out west. My husband celebrated his birthday. My daughter celebrated her birthday, right? And then what happened in March, and then April, and we had the Earth Day Festival here, and April is my mother-in-law and my daughter's birthday, and May, I've got birthdays in May, and what did we do in May? And June, what was June? And I just kind of look back through my calendar and have those memories of people that I've met and things that we've done, and go back through my my photos, because your photos will have the months there of memories of those snapshots of each and every day that I lived this year. That's what I want you to look at. Every morning, get up and thank God for giving you another day, right? But it's also, to me, at the end of the year, looking back at those 365 days and how did I feel them? How did I feel them? I have a very tight schedule, a very busy schedule, and I'm working. I always, at the end of the year, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be led by my calendar next year. And come about February, March, I'm led by my calendar, between the shop and readings and things like that, and seeing the grandkids, and but I've got to make more time for family and friends and just be there for them as well. That's why I'm doing the online calendar this year. This year, I've been talking for years that I wanted to have a podcast, and that's up and running now. Granted, it's the exact same thing that you see on Tuesday Talks at 10:30, but we're working on doing newer shows on that as well. And I've taken over the newsletter and blogging. Oh my gosh, I've been talking about doing blogging forever. So I'm blogging now. So I'm thinking about these things that have been on my list for a while to get done that I worked through this year. So I have to look at 2022, even though to me I wouldn't say it was difficult, it was hazy, I think is a good way. It just seemed gray when I was thinking about it before I reflected on where I've gone and what I've been through in 2022. It's putting that best foot forward for 2023 and thinking, okay, what are we going to do? What are some good things? Because, each and every day that you live, it's a closer day. It's one less day on your life. So why not live each day to the fullest? Now, there are days, yesterday is one of the first days in a long time that I just did absolutely nothing. I just sat my butt on the couch. Now, I wasn't feeling the greatest. I wasn't sick, but I was just really tired. So I just kind of sat and I vegged and I didn't do anything. The cool thing about it was I didn't feel guilty about it. I took a day for me. So it's doing that when you need to as well. It's rekindling old relationships or friendships that you need to. And it's also maybe taking a hard look at some of the friendships and relationships that you're in that maybe are toxic for you or not really good for you or not good for your energy. Carving out time and space for yourself to, if you like to go hiking, going and having a massage or doing something special for yourself once a month. Doing something special for the people that are around you as often as you can. It doesn't have to be these big extravagant things. Just one little thing. That's what we want to look at. Some of the other things that we talked about is, making a difference in the world. You've heard about the butterfly effect, the wings of the butterfly. They change the motion of the earth. The moon controls the ocean. I mean, everything affects something. So are you going to have a good effect on things, or are you going to have a bad effect on things? It's looking back on all of the things in this past year that had a good effect on you, and that you had a good effect on others or of the universe. It's also looking at some of the mistakes that you made and chalking them up as lessons, as things that I'm not going to do that again, right? So it's looking at the month, it's reflecting, but then it's setting your intentions for 2023 of, you know what, 2022 was kind of gray for me. So 2023 is going to be full color. That's how I want to look at it. I want it to be full color. I want it to be a lot of laughter. I want, I just want to, I don't know, I just feel like I want to embrace the world more. I don't even know how to explain that. I feel as if there are so many things out there that we can do for the world, even if it is very small, but we can still do it, It doesn't have to be this grand gesture of something. It's just, giving somebody a hug, or holding the door for someone, or smiling at someone. I think I've talked about this story a lot. When my daughter was young, we were driving through town, and it's funny as I'm talking about this, like I can see us in the car and we're driving through town, and anybody that was walking downtown, she would wave, or, she would, her window was down a little bit, hi, and I think she was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old. And after she did this, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, I remember saying to her, how do you know these people? She's like, I don't. But, her teacher had talked about, I don't know if she had talked about depression, but they had talked about random acts of kindness, that it's very easy to be kind. It's very easy to just say hi to someone, because you never know. Your wave, your saying hi might be just what they needed that day to let them know that there was still good in the world. So here I was learning a lesson from my little girl in my car, I'm thinking, you know what? She's right. It doesn't take much to say, hey, how you doing? It doesn't take much to just hold the door for someone. You see somebody walking into a grocery store, walking out of a store, and their hands are full, grab the door for them. Someone drops something, pick it up for them. It's those really easy little things, because you don't know where that person's head's at. They may just need that extra random act of kindness. So I want you to reflect on where you were in 2022. Honor those that you've lost. Take a moment in prayer, and at Christmas time, I always take a second and just tell my mom Merry Christmas. And I don't have them on today. I had them on Christmas Day, as I put those Christmas earrings on that I talked about in the book. I'm just like, Merry Christmas, Mom. She hears me. She's around me. And it's taking that moment to reflect on, those that you've lost this year. I lost a couple family members this year, and it was difficult, but I know that I will see them again someday. I know that they're around me. I know that they hear me when I talk to them. So it is reflecting the memories that you had with them, walking through the grief and the struggles, but honoring them, because they did have such an important, they have an important place in your heart. They'll always be with you. They'll always be around you. And because of who they were and how they touched your life, it made you who you are today. And maybe when you're reflecting back on this year, think about stories from friends that you've lost. Tell a story about them. but it's reflecting on it. It's setting yourself up to kind of close out the chapter of 2022 so that there's a new chapter for 2023. What do you need for 2023? What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to feel? I don't know. And I'm kind of winging this one today, I felt like this was the best way to do it, but for me, 2023 it's a clean slate. It's a new day. It's a new year to start over again, to look back at 2022, all those great and wonderful things and experiences that I had, all the lessons that I learned, but putting an end to that chapter, because some of 2022, man, I don't want to do again. Understand? So that's where I'm at today. So what are some of the things that you want to accomplish? Let's see, T. Marie. I so want to stay. Unfortunately, I have a doctor's appointment. Love, light, and peace and happiness. Oh, good luck on your doctor's appointment. I don't know how else to say that, but you can always watch the replay. Okay, T. Marie? So, and it is watching the replays of things that I've done. If you're having a bad day and you need some enlightening, you can re-watch or re-listen to on the podcast the Tuesday Talks at 10:30. My goal with Tuesday Talks at 10:30 is to be able to allow each and every one of you to know that you're not alone. You're not the only one that's ever gone through things. There is another way. You are loved. Let's grow together. Let's come back home to the part of you that maybe was broken or lost or forgotten, and get that blossom and that blooming again. Okay? So like I said, for 2023, of course, I am going to be in Bel Air, Maryland. I didn't even talk about that. January 24th, I have seats in the group reading. February 20th to the 22nd, there's privates available. The group is on the 21st. And then on the 22nd, I'm doing a past life regression at the Center for Trauma. I have my March dates, but I don't have them up yet. So these are the things that I'm looking forward to. Here's the things that are already happening in January and February for me. So what do you have planned for January and February? What do you want to accomplish, right? Not that I want to rush the days away, but January and February are always difficult for me because I am not a cold weather person. That's why we usually go west in January and February. We're not going west in January and February this year, so I'm going to be here, in the blistering cold. Although I'm excited, this week's supposed to be in the 50s, so yay! It's walking through that. It's knowing that even though it is cold and my body's not a cold weather person, it will get warm again. I will be warm. I've got a roof over my head. I've got food for my belly. I have, friends that come to the shop to talk to me. I've got my clients. It's not just zoning in on, cold weather. And those of you who love cold weather, you can have mine. I want hot. But I want the weather of July, but I don't want July to already be here, right? Not sure why I went off on that tangent, but that's okay. So what are some of the things for 2023? I want to be a better person. I want to grow and learn and be better. I want to be the best human possible that I can. I want people to know that I am a loyal, truthful, honest person that would help anyone in any way that I could. But I want to be more caring and more giving. As a Leo, sometimes it's a little stretch, I've been told that I can be very intimidating. And I guess I can see that. So I've worked on that through the years to calm that part of me down so that I'm more approachable. That's the word. That's the word. To be more approachable. But I also, by putting my online bookings, I'm not always accessible. I want to be accessible at the right time, if that makes sense. I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to give, I want to show. Does it make sense? So I'm excited for 2023. I really am. I feel like really good things are going to happen in 2023. I feel like there's going to be this tilt within the world where I don't even know how to explain it. I've been meditating and praying on it for, well, almost a year, I guess. And it just feels as if 2023 is going to be like this, I don't know, this ray of sunshine that's coming in. Not exactly sure why yet. My guides haven't filled me in on that, but I feel like it's going to be very good for the universe. It's difficult right now with the way inflation is and prices and people getting sick and different things like that. But I feel as if 2023 is going to be this new opening, this new dawn of the new day. I don't know. That's what I was just hearing. So I want you to look forward to 2023. I'm asking you to reflect back on 2022 at all of the experiences that you've been on. It's part of your journey. It's part of your path. Be excited at your accomplishments. Be proud of who you are and what you've worked through. If it was difficult, you worked through it. You're still doing it. You're moving forward. So, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. Towards the end of the year, reflecting on the past year, and then setting your intentions up for the upcoming year so that it can be better and stronger and more loving and more caring and more knowledgeable, more wisdom, more growth, things like that come to you. So I read someone put up and I don't know if it's a quote or if this was just a wish for them, that it said, I hope 2023 brings you less pain and more love. That's my intention for each and every one of you watching this today, that 2023 brings you less pain and more love, that you grow, that you walk, that you shine, that you come back home. It's just, I don't know, it's just this feeling I have about 2023. I just feel like bright and wonderful things are going to be happening. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that's how I feel. So for each and every one of you out there, I pray that 2023 brings you more love and less pain, more growth, more happiness, because it's going to be a good year. All right, guys. I hope each and every one of you are living the life you love. You're loving the life you live. If not, you're the only one that can change it. Let's reflect and look back at 2022, and then let's set our intentions for 2023 for less pain and more love. All right, guys, I will talk to you next Tuesday at 10:30. Not really sure what we'll talk about then, but if you have an idea of a subject that you want to talk about, post it in the comments or private message me and we'll work on it. Once I have my online scheduling available, I will post that. You can get the newsletter. There's a link there if you want to be part of the newsletter, the monthly newsletter. And I think that's about all. All right, guys, have a blessed day, a great and wonderful day, and I will talk to you next week. Peace out. Bye-bye.